First off, this whole video is I've never had one of these in my hand before. And so what's the deal? So here the deal is this blade turns this way, this blade turns this way. Okay, this blade turns counterclockwise, this blade turns clockwise. This blade turns clockwise, this blade turns counterclockwise. So these are going to the out, and these are going to the in, And the dynamics of that means something about when you do run your controller, these will slow down and these will speed up because of this little electronics board inside here, so it'll do that. And when you go forward, the rear speeds up, the front drops just a little bit. So that's how it drives. Anyway. Unboxing? Why do you need an unboxing? Isn't it kind of obvious? On this one, not so much. Shows you what's in the box. You actually get 5 of these. Sorry. You actually get 5 of these blade protectors. I think it's a good idea to put them on. I don't see that it adds that much to it. It actually comes with what's in the box, extra parts that you can get extra parts for it, and some instructions on the back. Warning, choking hazard. Do not put this in your mouth. Alrighty then. Basic instructions, which is this is a good thing to read this part of the box. Trim, especially the part about trim. Okay. The difference is, of course, these blades have not broken, and I have wrecked this thing, probably 89 times. And it's not the whole thing. These come loose a little bit. This is all bendy, and dang, this is durable and really, really light. This is heavy. There's maybe the camera and the metal, something in there is heavier, maybe the motor, I don't know. The battery, when you open this up, the battery seems to be the same. So the flight time is about the same. So here we go on flight time. You get about 5 minutes. Between 4 and 5 minutes of flight time. That's going to be a very important factor later on. Okay. So the battery goes in. That's where it plugs up. And then you take your little card. And the nice thing about these, in case you haven't seen these, it's got a little bump on one side, so it won't let you put that in upside down. And they give you the reader that comes with it. And this goes right in this little slot right above the battery. Just like that. Now you just plug it in and go, right? Wrong. This is the part where reading the instructions really is very, very important. So I just cut little pieces of vinyl, stuck them on here, and it's all about orientation. This is the back, this is the front, so you know it's going this way, you know it's going that way. This is the right side of this thing, this is the left side of this thing, this is my right hand, this is the right hand. But when it's going this way, this is my right hand, and this is its right hand. If you go right, give me a controller. So if you turn this to the right, if you go to the right, but if it's this way and you go to the right, it goes Okay, so that's why it's important. You have to keep constantly aware of the orientation of the craft. And this one, because of the way it's designed, you actually have to pick it up and plug it in. And the plug, if you can see this, the plug is a T-shaped with a wide base, and the plug in has a T-shape. So this one, the T is up and goes in like, and finagle around, and it finally goes in. Oh, goody. So the lights flash. It's asking for something. Now this on this one is much more forgiving, because technically you're supposed to turn the controller on first and then plug it in, and then you push up, down, it stopped blinking, beeped once, beeped again, and it's ready to fly. And you notice I can move the throttle up, and it wants to jump this way. So this is about the trim, if I can figure this out. Oh, here they are. Here are the old lights. Whoops. Yeah, that was fun. Uh-oh. Oh, this. This is the sensitivity. Low sensitivity, high sensitivity, which just means it gets a little more touchy. And you see that this wants to jump to the right. And here's the instructions. Wow, how about that? What if we read the instructions? Right, left, forward, back, and remember I explained right, it tilts left, it tilts forward, it tilts forward, back, it tilts backwards. And this button, if you push right to left, makes it spin like this. And since I have it on, I better not do that. Anyway, then these, and that's sensitivity. This is a trick button. Just never mind that one. To trim, let's see if we got it here. It's hovering in the air. Push the helicopter forward, back. You correct it by pushing the trimmer forward and back, which is this one. Trim forward, trim back. And if the helicopter is shifting left, push the fine-tuning button left. So if it's shifting to the left, which it's shifting to the right, so I would push this right trim button. Still is. Still is. Seems, I don't know. But anyway. Now, if we remember on this one, you have to pick it up to plug it in. Synchronizes to the controller and sets its gyro all at one time. This it's very important to understand mode. This is mode 2. That's just the way it is. This is mode 1 or 2. And if you get this, on the wrong switch, then put it on mode 1. What happens is, this is the power button. And if you turn it over, the power button automatically drops to the center. And the controls actually are weird. So some people fly them. I don't know. Some people prefer this button to be this way. And anyway, since this one's on mode 2, and I'm just learning, I don't need to be confusing myself with this information here. So I'm sticking with mode 2, which is, this is the throttle, and this is the right, left, and forward and backwards, and this is turn, spin to the right, spin to the left kind of deal. And that's really important, because when I first got it, I was pushing buttons and somehow got it over here on mode 1, and go like this, and it went beep, beep, and took straight off to the ceiling. So this is off. On this one, you have a camera, take a picture, take video, take a photograph, take a photograph. Click on, take the video, click off, stop the video. And then you have your trim modes. This is similar to the other one. And then I'm going to refer back to these blades. You know, this is the old blade. And it doesn't seem like a whole lot, except the tip. You can really tell on the tip. This one just has that much more area in which to catch air. The pitch seems to be the same. It's really hard to tell just by eye, but the pitch, that's this part. How much is it twisted? The pitch, how much is twisted? That's the other reason that I recommend putting these blade guards on, which is not too difficult. You pop this blade off, and you're going to do that anyway. If you're going to put the new blades on, you can take the old one at a time. And you have two black blades. You replace. Oh, here's a right rotation. Nope, this is a left rotation. If you put this blade on here, this thing's going to fly up, just keep spinning. So left rotation, counterclockwise. You take that blade off, put the blade guard on, put the new blade on. Then you go to the next one. Don't take them all off. Well, that's a good idea to mark it on here somewhere. I have a piece of paper with it marked on here. It does not. This one sets its gyros, 3-axis gyro, sets its gyro as you plug it in. So if you plug it in like this, and then set it down, and then beep, beep, just because the gyros aren't right, it didn't set up right, I synced it properly, which in this case is turn it on, and then plug it in. And I did this. I plugged it in this way, set it down, and then beep, and then try to fly it. And what happened is, it was you try to take off, and it was just full throttle from 1/32 of an inch. Bump this, and it's full throttle. No difference in this whole range. There was no difference in throttle at all. Try to, and it would be doing this. Put a little put throttle on it, and it wants to do this. It wants to go sideways, and you put full on, because this is so beginner level, so easy. Even if you do the sequence wrong, even you plug that in first and then turn it on, and then do this, it will still fly right. It will still fly properly. It still syncs up. Everything's cool. This one, if you do any little thing wrong, if you do any one little teeny tiny thing out of sequence, it will not fly properly. I said, this Kodo will not fly properly if you do anything in the setup out of sequence. So what is the sequence on this? Is very, very important. 1, make sure this button is all the way to the back. 2, turn this to the on, and that little button will flash. 3, see this? You have to be able to plug this in with this flat on the ground. You can't do this. You can do this and go, okay, I've got it to where, nope. That's where it's supposed to be. Turn this back off, turn it back on. Now it's blinking. Now set this on the ground. Oh, shoot. Yeah, boo damn it. And get this just, shoot, man, they could have made this easier. Okay, see, on the ground, level, on the ground. Now the eyeballs are steady on blue, and the light is steady blue, and it's been on the ground. It's set it on the ground. Now it will fly properly. Now these instructions that come with it are only half of it. I went online and got instructions, PDF instructions online, which added another page to this. This button is trim. Okay, so on this one, yeah, make it confusing for me. Go ahead. That's why I'm saying this is not exactly beginners. Okay, this is trim. The button on the right is trim for forward and back. This button is trim for right and left. In the brain factor aspect of flying, it is imperative to understand what happens in your brain is this will be flying. I'm flying along. Oh, if it's away from me, its right is my right. Its left is my right. Forward is it forward. Backward is backward to me. And we're fine. We're good with that. And then it does this. As you're flying, the breeze will kick it around, and it'll just by the motion of flying, it'll turn. And that's what this button is for, to make it turn back or to turn in the direction you want it. So meanwhile, it's over here, and now you're going forward, and it's going to your left. And you go back, it's going to your right. It's not about you. It's not about you, the person. It's not about where you are. It's not my right hand. It's the right side of the craft. This is right, not my right. This is right to the craft. Right to the craft. Right to the craft. And if you think about, if you have to stop and think, well, your brain is automatically trying to calculate and analyze and calculate and recalculate. Look at seconds. Too late. You're already up in a tree. It's already slammed into the ground. You have to be able to react right now. It's going into a tree. It's reverse. You know, it's reverse. And it's also important. You'll hear me screaming this out loud. It's reverse. It's reverse. I'm trying to establish a pattern in my own brain. And habits takes habit. I'll have to look that up. To create a habit, it takes a certain amount of time. To establish a habit as a pattern takes something like 29 days. And you only have 5 minutes at a time. I got 5 minutes in the morning, so that's 10 minutes out of the day, unless you buy 5 or 6 batteries and just swap the batteries out right quick and keep flying. Which is my next step. Upgrade the blades, buy some extra batteries, bigger batteries and or more batteries, so you can just pull that battery out, slick another one in, and keep flying, so you can get 30 minutes of flying time in at one time. What I've noticed is I fly for 5 minutes, and I'm not establishing the habit pattern in my brain head. So even though early in the morning the wind factor is really low, in the afternoon around 5 it's really low, and the rest of the time there's some breezes up here. So as a newbie, as a beginner, I'm looking for the least amount of wind. And if I had a big gymnasium to go practice in, I would go there. However, the point being, screaming out, it's right. And it's turning, it's right. Okay, it's coming at me. It's back. Not me, it's If I go forward because I want it to go that way, then it's just going to come right in my face. So if I say it's coming at me, it's back. It's going to go backwards. It's left. Which way is its left? Its left is over there, right? Its left is that way. But the controller is always the same. The controller button is always the same. Its left is left. Its left is left. The button goes left, and the button goes right, and it turns to its right. But the orientations, and so now the point being, we want to establish in our head the habit of seeing its orientation, and not, rather than trying to allow the brain to assess and do all this conversion. You don't need that stuff in your brain. You don't need that stuff. It's irrelevant. So tell your brain to just shut up. Shut up, brain. And just pay attention. It's flying forward, so it's flying forward, so I want to reverse, then thumb back, and it goes thumb back. And when you let go, I'm not sure, I think it's supposed to just level out. Although, I don't know. And it's drifting away, so I know this is the front, and I want it to go toward me. I want it to go to its left, and it'll come back. And now that whole sequence, that whole conversation right here is vital. It's vitally important. This is the essence of flying. This is the essence of flying in the air. Airplane, helicopter, or quad. But especially a quad. An airplane, it just goes. And you just go left, right. It only goes like that. A helicopter spinning around, yeah, okay. But it's pretty obvious. It's fairly obvious the helicopter is pointing what direction it's pointing. However, helicopter quad, it is the same, and for any aircraft, airplane, helicopter, quadcopter, it's the same. It's right, it's left, it's forward, not my forward. It's forward. I want to go back. It's back. Not mine. It's left. Wait a minute, that's my right. It's left. If I want it to go to my right, it's left. So how do you in other words, to reiterate, trying to allow your brain to calculate. Okay, it's going this way, and if I want to, it's going this way. Whoops. Yeah, it's forward, it's toward me, and it's breezing to my left. Then that means I have to put it to my right. No, it means I have to put it to my left, and then it will go. You see, all that calculation takes too much time. Milliseconds. Takes too much time. You're already in the tree. And believe me when I say the trees out here are tall. And you see a ladder up on that tree? Yeah. If it gets hung in a tree higher than that, I'm in trouble. I'm going to have to get up there and then shinny up and try to shake it out, or hire a squirrel to go out there and knock it down for me. Anyway, you have time. You have 5 minutes at a time. You need 24 hours. You need 24 hours of flight time. And if I get an hour at a time, that would be really excellent. But remember, in 1 hour, you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 12. 12 times. You have to fly 12 times to get 1 hour of training time. To establish that, the further along I get and the more established I get in it's right, it's left, it's forward, it's back, it's left. and it's starting to. I can feel it. I can feel it coming on to where it's just automatic. It's starting to be automatic. It's left. Oh, it's left. It's right. You know, for $30, this is really awesome for a first-time flyer. But I would absolutely add, before I even flew it the first time, I would add the color. And you probably put like fingernail polish on there or paint. And the mint this, when I order this one, when I go to buy this one, I'm going to get the blades and an extra battery with it. Automatically, just get the blades, get the battery. How to set it up. Of course, charging is it's just as simple as plugging the battery in, plug this into. Well, actually, this came with a camera, but any USB, plug into your computer, plug into this thing, comes with a reader. So bottom line, I am looking into what battery I could replace this with, because you can see the battery fits in all the way back to here. You could have a slightly larger battery lengthwise, but it would have to be the same height and width. Could be a little bit longer, a little more power, give you maybe a little bit more flight time. Same thing with this. Inside here is the same size battery, and it just right here, there's a slot. This whole thing just fits in there. You can replace that battery fairly easily. I'm going to do that eventually. And I don't know the difference between 3 blades, 2 blades, and some people say, you know, 3 blades, higher revolution, doesn't fly as well, and I'm thinking, why isn't there 4 blades? I don't know. I don't know the dynamics of that, but that's something maybe for a future video. So that's the important stuff out of the box, and the very, 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 very important part about this, and how important it is to have. I mean, it should come from the factory this way. In my opinion, it should come from the factory like this. You know, with this whole thing white, it's white all the way around, and I'm supposed to tell front from back because the little flippers on the back and the little lights in the front, and when it gets out there about 100 feet away, you can't see any of that stuff. I don't know. The only way I can tell, the only way I know which way is the front is if I push it forward, push the controller forward, and it tilts like that. Then, oh, that must be the front. Push it forward. Oh, that must be the front. And I've got the bug just a little bit. What I am looking at is, you know, if a controller, I want one controller that can control all of them. So if I buy another one, if I acquire another one, can I just have one controller so I'm not doing this and then set it up? Set up properly. That this one, and read the instructions. In the instructions it says clearly, actually in the instructions it does say very clearly, make sure that the device is on the ground before you plug it in, make sure it stays level while it's doing its little syncing up thing. So read the instructions, that can be important. You know, and this, putting these little pieces of tape on here, now one thing about this, these pieces of tape are all equal in length, reasonably equal in length and width. So it should not affect the balance, and it's just a little piece of tape. So I don't know that as light as, I don't know that it would affect the weight, but it really, 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 really helps a lot. And especially gets away a little bit and gets turned, and don't know to know its orientation so that I can say, oh, it's left, rather than poking around. Anyway, conclusions. I think, as I reiterate, in conclusion, I would ditch these blades. I am ditching these blades. That's what I am doing. And I would recommend ditching these blades and going ahead and getting these. And because I've actually flown this with these on, wow, what a difference. And the difference is obvious to me, then, I mean, duh, it's probably a huge difference. The second thing I would do is get batteries. Get several batteries. You can get 4 or 5 batteries with a multi-charger. You plug them all in at one time and charge them all at one time. And you go out the next day and you got 5 batteries, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes at a time. And that in itself is very helpful. So number one is get the color on there so you can really grasp which direction it is. Does that understand? So number one is get the color on here where you can actually see front to back and right to left what's going on with where the orientation of this thing. The second thing is to say it right out loud. It's left. It's left. Oh. It's right. Oh. It's left. See, I'm having to think. When I'm looking at this, I'm having to think which one is it. But when I'm doing this, hold it this way. When I'm doing this, it's right. Because this is always this is always forward. This is always backwards. This is always left. This is always right. So if this thing, doesn't matter where this thing's pointed, it's pointed whatever it's pointed. Right is this. Right is this. So if I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, it's right. That would be this way. I'm having to stop and translate that in my head, and that's where we slow down. That's where the real crux of the conversation is attempting to translate the orientation of the flyer and then move your controller. No. You cut that translator part out. You don't need it. You don't need to sit here and figure out which way this is pointed. Well, which one's right? Oh, no, wait. Which one's right now? Right. That's the answer. Right. Push this button to the right. It's right. To the craft. Craft right. Oop. Craft forward. Oop. Craft left. Oop. Craft left. Oop. Craft left. Oop. Craft left. Oop. The craft's left. The craft's back. The craft forward. No matter which, that by skipping over, cutting out, and removing that thing where we go look at this thing and go, it's going right. So that means, and you having to do that thinking process, and by the time you're done thinking, it's over here up in a tree, crashed somewhere. So cut that part out. We don't need it. It gets in the way. You just say, bank right. Craft's right. It's right. It's forward. It's left. Accelerator seems to vary. Okay, it's left. It's left is to me. It's forward. It's backward. It's like the acceleration. It's left. It's right. It's right. It's up. It's park. Oops. It's upside down. What if you... Oh, no, it's not upside down. So if I take off and go back... Okay? Right, there you go. There you go. It's left. It's left. It's forward. It's right. It's left. Dang it, it's back. It's back. It's left. I meant it's right. No, I mean it's left because it's facing me. Forward. We come back to that formula of if this, bigger battery would be heavier, and then you have to balance it out, the more weight of a battery versus how much, two things, how much extra flight time, and the flight time is going to be balanced down by the extra weight, the extra energy required to run it. Where the objective is to make it two objectives. Uh-oh. Flashing lights at me means we're about out of juice. You need to land. Recording. Okay. So I saw someone on there said online that said suggested making a little box. This box seems it's almost too big and it's a little bit cumbersome. But I thought I'd try it because this is so small. So I thought that because this was so small that maybe I'd try to put it in a bigger box. But this is actually not. It's not shaped. I like the other control of the shape of it is much better. I just cut a cardboard box and cut it round, so this actually fits in there quite snugly. I've got a piece of sponge underneath here, and I'll hold it up, but we'll see. We'll see how that works. Let's see if we remember. We go on. And then plug this in without moving it. I can get align the plugs and get it set on the ground. And pressing it onto the ground with one finger while it beeps, and then it stopped beeping. And now I'm going to make sure that this wire is out of the way. Last time it was up here and got caught in the blade. What? Well, I guess I should be careful where I step. Okay. Well, let's see how this stick works. It feels uncomfortable already. Whoa, buddy. Back to me. Over to you. Let's see what we do with facing me. Facing me. It's left. It's forward. It's forward. It's left. It's left. Good little breeze out here today. see a little bit of control here. Forward. Alright already. I shouldn't be moving it. I should be bringing it to me. Alright. I'm taking me a minute to get used to this new box, and should probably learn how to trim this thing too. I guess that's the next step. I'm not chasing it through the woods, so next step is to learn how to trim. All right. Whoa. Hard landing. Okay. So I guess I need to practice on landing too. And it's blinking because probably the battery's getting low. It's been a couple minutes. Landing, okay. Practice landing. Want to land right. Nope, nope. I want to land right there. Missed it. Well, that's a much better landing though. Practice landing. I think one problem about landing is you're trying to get it down, battery's down, battery's out. Practicing landing, we go trying to put throttle up to keep it, throttle up to keep it from slamming. So you give it some, and then you're trying to give it too much. So it's a matter of control. And that was all on low sensitivity, and the battery's already out, so you see the benefit of having, and I did order another battery, so hopefully That won't be too long. I'll get that battery. And they'll be able to just pull that out, swap that out. This seems to work okay. It kind of moves around a little. I guess you'd have to, well, I mean, you can see the sponge in here. The sponge is just a little bit high and a little bit stiff. I was thinking maybe cut a piece of styrofoam this size and this height, exactly that height, to where this pressed in here, when this pressed in here, it'd be flat against it. Maybe glue the foam into the bottom and put Velcro on here or something. But that does, I mean, there's this, which is just too small, and then this, which is actually, it's okay. It's not, it should be rounded, it should be, it's not real comfortable, but it is better. I mean, it's a little bit better. Anyway, get this battery going on, and new battery, and hopefully I still have not found an upgraded battery that will fit in this slot, but we're looking for that. Anyway. Meanwhile, oh wait, what was the question?